Hello and welcome. My name is Joseph and you're watching the Endless Tales. Today we have an unboxing. For today it's going to be one rod, but there are other things coupled with the one rod. This is in line with the cleaning up the beach campaign that we have been talking about. I think you might have seen in 2 or 3 videos we keep talking about let's clean up. And what we thought would be helpful is that we don't just talk, right? Because talk is very cheap. I mean, people, including myself, don't listen to what you say. Right? They remember like a very small percentage of what you say, but they remember a lot of what you do. So we have decided to put our own resources into this in the form of small little awards. I mean, these things are going to grow as we get more and more people to be interested in running this small campaign. For now, I have, these are not presented in order. We're just going to be deciding how we do this. So now I got this from Sister Marine. They have this special, this is a jigging rod. It's a brand new jigging rod. The owner of the shop gave me this from your stock and said, okay, let's see the first video. Once it's done, please send it to me. Let's see what it's like. So this is the first one. Wow. This is from Vitamin C, VS. So this is the paste. Okay, so this is a jigging rod. I'm not gonna push it through. Well, it actually says Gulf jigging. It's a 602 ml, 1.80 meters, PE 0.8 to 2, lure weight 7 to 60 grams. So it's a 7 to 60 grams, and it's got this fancy VS logo here. So this is vitamin C, like the CSEA. So this is the first rod the first thing that we got. I'm open to ideas here because we really want this to be a success. So this is the first one. Okay. Second, I'm not gonna just be talking. I am putting number 1. I am putting this one. So you can see this, in some places they call it king mackerel. In UAE we call it the kingfish. So this is a kingfish rod. This is one of those rods that came from kingfish, Okuma Recon kingfish rod. This is a very good rod. Lure weight up to 60 grams. This is casting. This is a spinning rod, not casting. There's a difference. So a spinning rod is the one that we use with the casting rod is the one that comes with an overhead reel on. Right? So there's a difference. So we call these spinning rods. Right? And we use them with a spinning reel. This is the one that sits over here and then you crank from underneath. Okuma Recon kingfish. I have Gulf Jigger, brand new. And then thirdly, I have 2 boats. I think some people actually know that, people that are in UAE, so mostly people that we go with it fishing in Fujairah and Kofakan. So we have 2 boats. One boat is already in Kofakan and the second boat is still here. I'll show the pictures of what the boats look like. The one boat is in Abu Dhabi right now. We just finished the registration. We're gonna keep it here until the end of December, and then from there we'll take it to Fujairah. We're setting up in Fujairah. So we will be taking the winner. I mean, this I haven't put these things into order. I'm very much open to suggestions. Initially, what I thought was that this would be prize number 1. this will be prize number 2. And then 6 hours free fishing on our boat. We take you out to sea and we're going to be testing that boat. It's a 43-foot boat. It's got a normal stand-up toilet with a room that has AC. It's more stable because of the size and things like that. So we'll be taking you out on that boat for 6 hours if you are one of the winners. Now, I'm still here to see which one, and as I said, I'm open to suggestions here. Which one is going to be prize number 1, which one is prize number 2, which one is prize number 3. So how do we get to do this? I'll put a link to our Instagram page. It's called the Black Pearl. So Black Pearl Charter on Instagram. I'll put a link there. If you clean after yourself, take a video showing you cleaning up. This is picking up plastics. Mostly we're concerned with plastics. And I'll explain why plastic specifically. So if you send a video, you can enter as many times as you want. And then we're going to put it on our Instagram page. I'm not the one who's going to decide whether you win or not. We're going to look at the number of likes that you get. Number of watches and likes that you get decides whether you win or you lose. Because I don't want to be subjective. I don't want it to be unfair. So you can check on our Instagram page to see if you are winning or not. Please comment below in this video and say which one do you think should be the first prize. Should we say 6 hours of fishing? This is deep sea fishing, by the way. We're not just gonna go like 5, 10, 15 kilometers. Like no. We're testing the boat. So we're gonna go far. Right? This is a 700 horsepower boat. It's got 350 by 2 Yamaha engines, and it's 43 feet. It's got a stand-up toilet, it's got a shower, it's got a cooking area at the back, it's got a proper shading at the top, and it's got enough sitting spaces. But we're not going to take a lot of people. When we test, we prefer safety, so it's maximum 6 people fishing on a 43-foot boat. And you get to be one of the first people to get to go on that boat. All expenses paid on the boat. That means you don't pay for the ride, you don't pay for the ice, you don't pay for the water that we provide you. Your job is to just get yourself to the location that we're going to send. Just get yourself there, get on the boat, and do your fishing. That's it. So that would be, the more I talk about it, the more I think that should be the first prize. Right? And then if we get a lot of entries, if you get, it doesn't matter where you're from, which Emirates you're from, okay? If you're in Abu Dhabi, clean up after yourself in Abu Dhabi. If you're in Dubai, clean up after yourself in Dubai. And I need a timestamp on the video, and I need you to be holding something that has got a date and a time of when you did this, and it needs to be after this video. Okay, date and time after this video is uploaded. Wherever you're coming from, that's where you clean up, and then you send that to our Instagram. I'll put the link at the bottom for our Instagram page. Right. So why plastics? One of the very interesting things about plastics is that for a very long time since plastics were invented, they have been a very, very useful, even up to now, they're a very, very useful product, right? We have plastics in almost everything. Wherever you are in your house, if you look around, there will be plastic in almost everything that you have around you. Even these rods that I'm talking about, they're plastics. Plastics have different types, right? There's backlight, which is very hard, which is used for mechanical parts. There are things like PVC that we use for plumbing and things like that. There's acrylic. Acrylic is that it looks like glass, but it's shatterproof. And there's nylon, different types of plastics, and they are used for different things. We have a love-hate relationship with plastic. Right? You can't live without plastic because it's everywhere now, on everything, in cars, and you name it. You go to the grocery shop, you're gonna come up with plastic bags with whatever it is that you've bought. I mean, we use that for packaging. Lots of things are plastics in them. So plastics are really, really very important. But the problem with plastic is that it's non-biodegradable. So what that means is that our bodies, including animals, including bacteria or whatever, cannot break plastic. Some plastics need up to like 1,000 years to degrade. That's a problem with plastics. I mean, there's a lot of junk that is going into the sea. And it is not just the sea, it's all over the place. There's plastics everywhere. When it goes into the sea, I think you can do a search online and you're gonna find, like for example, there's an example for a whale that was bleached, and what they found out was that it had ingested a lot of plastic, so it couldn't eat anything else. And these are not nutritional, so the animal gets to die. Birds that have eaten plastics, and I mean, again, it's not energy giving because your bodies cannot degrade it. So that's on a macro level. Right? If it's on land, we also get animals like cows, donkeys, you name it, they get to eat plastics, and if they do, that plastic causes harm to those animals as well, and you get animals dying. Right? This is on a level that we can see. Now there's another level that is more pervasive that people don't get to see, and that is called microplastics. Right? Microplastics. Microplastics are any small pieces of plastics that are 5 millimeters and below. 5 millimeters and below. Now the problem is when we dump all those plastics that we dump on the beach, right? And they get blown into the sea. By the way, if you go to Abu Dhabi National Aquarium, you can see the worst pollutants that we have. Number one will be cigarette stubs. But the second one will be plastic. Right? Now, when plastic goes into the water, there is the exposure to UV, right? And the salt from the sea. The salt makes it brittle, plus the UV, and then it gets to crumble. So it crumbles a little bit. It's not being degraded, it's just crumbling. As it crumbles, it forms these very, very tiny pieces that are called microplastics. They are nanoplastics and they're microplastics. Now the microplastics, it has been estimated that in our seas, it's about upwards of 50 trillion particles of microplastics that are in the sea, right? And one of the problems with that is these things get ingested by all manner of life, of sea life. Oysters, think of whatever you like to eat. It comes with those microplastics. It travels up the food chain. Plankton gets to absorb it, and then the fish will eat the plankton, and after that, the pelagic fish that we like so much, like the kingfish, the tuna, and all those fish that eat other fish are also eating microplastics in higher concentrations. So the higher it goes in the food chain, the more concentrated it becomes. Right? And then when we catch them and we eat them, we also get to absorb those plastics. Up to now, we don't actually know the full effects of microplastics in the human body. One of the worrying things is the trends that we're beginning to see now, as you look into this, a lot of research that is being done recently, you'll find that microplastics are also being observed in the brain. That becomes a big problem, and that is very worrying. Right? I mean, there are some studies that were done in which they fed microplastics to mice, and 2 hours later, those microplastics were observed in the brain. Right? Now, they are non-biodegradable. That means they're not going to be degraded in there, but they also have some other effects. So when they get absorbed into the brain, they cause a number of things. For example, inflammation is one of the problems that you get. Neurological disorders, neurodegenerative diseases, like for example Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's. Those are examples of neurodegenerative disorders. Some of those things get exacerbated with microplastics as they travel all the way up to our brain. Problem doesn't just stop there. Okay, they have been observed in blood, they've been observed in the lungs, they've been observed everywhere within our systems. A lot of studies keep going on to try and understand what are the effects. I mean, there are some. It's not hard evidence. It's not hard scientific evidence. It's circumstantial at best. But a lot of studies are still being done that shows that they also contribute a lot to hormonal imbalances. Hormonal imbalances cause a number of things, a number of issues. Part of this is not so much because of the plastic itself, but because of the additives that are put in plastic, like BPA, for example. So I know a lot of people would say that, why does that concern me? It's not my problem, blah, blah, blah. But think of it this way. A number of the diseases that we have experienced as pandemics, they started with one or two people somewhere remotely, right? A number of hemorrhagic fevers, like the ones that jumped from monkeys to humans, they started a long time ago with a few people that became adventurous, right? Nobody else knew about them, but they went where they did what they were not supposed to, right? Capture monkeys that a disease scratches you, and then you end up being affected, and then you start spreading it to people that have no idea. Some people don't even want to go into the jungle. They're not interested in these outdoor things, but they get to experience the effects of somebody who was being adventurous, who went into the jungle and played around with monkeys. So there is no saying this doesn't affect me. What affects one human being affects everybody. Think of COVID, for example. I mean, you couldn't, with COVID, you can't say, no, it's not my business if people are infected, because it's going to infect you as well. See, what affects one person gets to be distributed right across. One good thing is we can do something about it. I'm not saying we can stop it. Right now, it doesn't make any sense for anybody to say let's stop using plastics. I mean, it's more costly to stop using plastics than to do risk management. And you can't do avoidance anymore. All you can do at this point is risk management and prevention. Prevention is part of what we're talking about, that whenever we go on the beach or wherever it is that we'll be fishing, right? Let's not just dump plastics everywhere. Think of it like I go fishing, I'm by myself and nobody else is seeing me, and I just dump my plastics and go. What that means is I'm part of the people that are contributing to the 8 million tons of plastic junk that is being thrown into the sea. And that plastic that I also contributed is going to turn into microplastics. Or before it turns into microplastics, it might be swallowed by an innocent bird that didn't do anything wrong against you. Let's clean up after ourselves. One of the benefits are very, very immediate. Like, for example, we clean up the beach. The local authorities are very happy with us. They don't close up our fishing spots, right? Long-term effects, you're doing an important deed to the human race. You're helping solve one of the major problems that we are facing as people in this generation, which is plastic. Send your entries to our Instagram page. And you have to title it properly so I know who's sending this, and contact details, because if you get to be the winner, I also need to be able to get in touch with you, right? Either for the trip or for giving up the road. So send the videos showing yourself. As I said, it has to be you showing the date and time that you're doing the collection. You can say, all right, it's me, X, I'm at this beach, Y, and this is the date today and the time, and I'm responding to the cleanup challenge. And then you start doing your business. As I said, I am not the one who's going to be deciding who is the winner. I will be looking at the number of likes and views that you get If you want to make it fun so people watch it and give so many likes, that's nice too. All we are interested in is let's clean up after ourselves in our fishing sports so we get to enjoy these places longer without the authorities closing them. So until we meet again on another one, like, share, subscribe, and let's clean up our beach. Ciao, ciao.